Hello, welcome back to PharoahTV. I thank you for tuning in. If you haven't been here before, my name's Amir, and this is PharoahTV. We speak on African American issues and how that affects Africans globally and the diaspora. Today's subject, we're going to be speaking about the rampant cultural appropriation here in America and how I believe it came to be and what we can do to, help it. We as African Americans and we have a diaspora. Um, I first want to give a little backdrop of why I think this happened. One, I believe it's our over-eagerness to accept everybody. We welcome everybody with open arms. We're loving people, and our eagerness to have people accept us. So we brought people into the culture, and they immerse themselves, and so on and so forth. One of the big key factors, I believe, is rap, hip hop, and R&B. When this first came out, it was one of the few ways we as African Americans could express ourselves, tell our history, and just it was a therapy in some ways, going through the pain of the racism we were dealing with and the oppression and the everyday life, without going on in African American communities, whether it be from the South, West, wherever you came from. And it was one of the few ways African Americans could actually gain wealth. If you weren't entertaining the oppressors, you pretty much weren't able to make wealth back then. It's gotten better over the decades, this recent age, especially in liberal states like California. In the South, the racism's pretty rampant up there. It gets a little better over here. My experience, of course, is always going to be different because I'm a mixed breed, and I adhere and respect that to my fellow brothers and sisters that are of full African descent. And so with that, you have all these people who are immersed in our culture. And also, I believe another aspect is immigration. So when people immigrate to America, they tend to gravitate towards black culture, and one of the reasons why I believe is because African American culture is the most impactful culture on the planet. It has affected every country. Every country raps now. They have their own version of rapping, or some of them have taken from R&B and hip hop and implemented it into their genres. So there's that on that. And the most iconic person you can arguably say is Michael Jackson. He's an African American, though had white skin because of he bleached it, but it's that's not the fact. And with that, I believe when they come in, they are redlined to the same communities black people are forced to be in. They're only able to open shops in black communities, so they get immersed in our culture and without understanding. And I need people to understand, especially when it comes to one of my main talking points here will be that N-word. Anyone of non-African descent, anyone using that word, it's wrong. Us as a people should not use the word at all, but we reclaim that word. So it's not going to have the same weight and context as someone of non-African descent saying it. Because, one, you guys don't even know the history. You don't even know the history behind the word. You don't know what language it's in. You don't know how it can affect other African Americans or anybody of African descent. They're just using it rampantly. And it's not okay. And I keep getting these excuses. Oh, I have black in my family. Oh, I have a black friend. He allows me to say it. Oh, my girlfriend or boyfriend's black. Then that's not an excuse. Should be more of a reason for you to respect African American culture and respect that word is a racist word. It came from a racist place. It was constructed by the white man to marginalize us into a category so he can dehumanize us. It literally was the word for a black inferior subhuman being, and it also referred to poverty and ignorance because they didn't let us. They made us poor and they didn't let us get a good education. And So when you are not of non-African descent using that, you are saying that it's harmful, it's wrong. And as an African American, like I say, we shouldn't be using it, but we reclaimed it. We took a weapon formed against us, and we turned it into a tool. Because at the same time, if you're calling me something all my life, then if I call myself, it doesn't hold the same way. It doesn't hurt as much. And at the same time, back in those in slave days, they were calling us that. And since unfortunately a lot of them weren't able to get an education, they actually thought that's what our label was. So that carried with us. And with that, that's just, that's how it carried on into the future now. And they weren't, now there's no excuse. There's the internet. We can all be educated. We know the history. We've been taught civil rights. And the fact that when I talk to non-African Americans, people of non-African descent, about using that word, like how it's harmful, they get mad. They fight for it more than we do, honestly. They get so offended. They're like, oh, I earned the rights. In my hood, they let me say it. I got African American friends. They let me say it. No, that's the fact that you even need that validation, that you need passes, just goes to show it's wrong. Because as African Americans, it's a birthright to us. We're born into it. It's born into our culture. We're grown up saying it. And another thing, reason why I also say that if you're a non-African descent, you shouldn't be saying it. Well, one, you weren't growing up hearing that. Well, that's kind of not true now. It's so bad to the point where now you got people are growing up saying it, and I've actually had people of non-African descent admit to me that they were growing up hearing it saying because they had racist parents. So some people are actually acknowledging it as racist, and they're still using it. I don't understand. And you never heard anyone saying in your family, you didn't grow up saying that, especially if your parents are traditional of whatever ethnicity or culture you are. They don't want you saying it. And like I said, you didn't hear it say it. It has nothing to do with your culture. It has nothing to do with the pain. It means black. You're not black. And it literally has nothing. I mean, you don't know what it means. You have nothing to do with the culture. You don't know the history. So why even use it? And a lot of the times, a lot of people who are culture appropriate, stealing black culture, they will emulate black culture. They will assimilate to black culture, but you don't really like black people. In the same sentence, you'll say the one with the A, and then turn around when you don't like when you want to piss off a black person, you'll use the ER. That's not okay. And what I need people to stop doing is stop entering black spaces and disrespecting black faces. It's wrong. We allowed you in this culture, and you're going to disrespect us? When we ask you to stop using the N-word, you want to say, oh, what are you going to do about it? Oh, it's our word now. That's crazy. Why do you want to say a racist word? What is so cool about the N-word? Especially when this hood culture, because everybody forgets hood culture is black culture. And when everybody get into these hoods, these gangs, right? They gotta be an N-word. They'll call themselves an N-word. They'll use the N-word, but don't know nothing about the word. Don't even know why you're using it. Like, why does saying the N-word make you hard? And I understand, like I said, black culture is one of the most impactful cultures on the planet. But your people were never persecuted with that word. Like in our ancestry, the last thing some of our ancestors heard was that label. They were branded that word before they were taken from us. Before they were, they took that tightrope and flung it over that tree. So it's just wrong. It doesn't make sense. Please stop. Be respectful. Black people, we need to stop using it around them, because that's another thing. That's a good argument. One person told me, well, if I have my black friend calling me that all the time, I'm going to think I might be, and that's kind of the reason why we reclaim the word and start calling each other, because we're labeled that all our life. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's not going to hurt if we call each other that. So we got to stop calling them that Stop giving them passes, because we don't get those kind of passes. Come on now. And just stop using it around them. So there's no excuse. Stop using it around. We need to censor our music. I know no one wants to do that, but we definitely need to not have the N-word on our music. Gotta stop doing that. It's too. That's one of the main reasons. They're literally hearing it every day. They don't even have to hear it from a black person now. They just hear a black person saying it on a song, and they think it's cool, and then they repeat it. And some of them don't even know at all that it's a racial connotation. And unfortunately, they got black friends that aren't helping them. And it really, one of the biggest problems I'm seeing, is the biggest fighters for this are the mixed breeds and the black women. Come on, black men, stop giving these passes. I'm seeing in these arguments I'm seeing online, got these black men saying, "Oh, well, me and mine's, we grew up the same. We went through the same stuff." No, the African American experience in America, or honestly, being of Afro anything in a different country. But I'm gonna speak on African American experience because that's all I can. I'm a mixed African American. Of course, it's a little different because I'm, in some places I'm not black enough, and I'll never be white enough. So I'm not white. So, there's no middle. There's no mixed breeds. We don't have a tribe. We're black first in society. I am a black man first in society. I'm an African American first in society. So, with that being said, we have to stop we gotta stop using around. We gotta, and like I said, we have, and the brothers, I'm talking with two African American parents. Y'all gotta fight for this. Y'all gotta be the leaders. Y'all gotta be the ones really educating people and trying to put a check on this stuff, because you're being disrespected in your face. You're allowing the non-African descents to say the word, assimilate the culture, and give you no credit. We're not getting no credit as a people. We're not getting respected at all. But they love our culture. It's that old saying we always say. They love the rhythm, but they don't like the drums. You know what I'm saying? They like the song, but they don't like the singer. It's really sad. Very sad. And I hope we get this together and come together and really take this back, take our culture back. And I know they want to be like, "Oh, well, you can't gatekeep." Yes, we can, because every culture gatekeeps. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because if you don't gatekeep, you will be gentrified. Like I was saying, a lot of people don't know the N-word is a black racist word for black people. They just think, "Oh, well, I thought it means brother because the way we use it," right? No, because then that puts black man at no reference to, oh, that's not a racist word. And then just be wondering why black people are offended. It gives black men no reference to the racism. That's just. So kids at high school can call each other that, and if a black man's not okay, if that black student is not okay with it and reports it, I'm seeing it. I've literally seen the reports. There was this lady on Reddit. She's like, "What do I do?" And it was here in my city, in the Bay Area, California. What do I do if I reported to the superintendent and the dean and the principal that they're calling my son racist stuff, and they literally just told me, "Oh, that's just how kids talk." That's sad. That is sad. And that's what happens with cultural appropriation. You get gentrified. It just becomes, "Oh, it's American culture." That's just how the kids talk. So we get left out, no credit, no consideration, no representation of something that we went through. And it's funny because there was a time when being one wasn't cool. Being black wasn't cool. Black culture wasn't cool. Now, it's the coolest thing ever. But the only thing not cool about it is the people. So y'all can quote unquote act one, but y'all don't want no black people, no African Americans around. Y'all don't like the people. And respect to those who are in black spaces and don't play in black faces. Like if I've heard some rappers be like, "No, I don't ever say that, bro. That's corny. That's their word. That's a race." Or they'll be straight up that it's a racist word. Why are you saying it? I don't say that. I don't let mine say it around me either. I educate my people. That I respect. But you got these rappers literally talk about what are you gonna do about it? You're not gonna do nothing. It's our word now. No one cares. If no one cares, then why are we having this conversation? There's obviously those that do, and enough of us aren't. I'm sad to say we're fragmented a little bit. We're not as together as we need to be because we have this Dylanization of African Americans and Africans. We're not together. The foundationally black Americans, they want to be, our history starts at slavery. My people go back all the way back to the 1700s. We're indigenous to this land. No, you're not. Do your 23andMe. I did mine. It was a great experience. I am multiple tribes of African with Native American, Spanish, and European in me. So do it. It's a great thing. We can trace our lineage back to Africa. We were brought here. There's no one of African descent, no black people indigenous of Africa. Yes, the natives were melanoid. They were copper-toned melanated, but they were not dark-skinned. They were not of African descent. They didn't have our hair. They were not of African descent. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Native American genealogy is more related to Polynesian and Asiatic or Austrian genetics than anything. So, there's that. Now, we do, as African Americans, for most part, most African Americans have probably like 15% Native American. I have I think it was 10%. So that probably does make you indigenous because you mix, though. The literal definition of indigenous in the definition says before inhabitants who settled in a land before conquest, conflict, or colonization. We came here after colonization, so that doesn't apply. White people came here after colonization. They are not indigenous of this land. At least they recognize that. But yeah, and I understand that we want to claim this land. We other than the indigenous Americans, we black people, we African Americans, deserve to be here the most. This land was built on our pain, strife, and struggle. We fought more to be on this land than anything, and our impacts for civil rights opened the door for all civil rights, because once we started putting these bills in, allowing some form of equality in this country, then it literally sped a whole. It's like a domino effect. And just like with independence, like Haiti was the precipice of the domino effect of African countries and other countries getting independence. Yeah, black people are the most impactful people on the planet, and we just want our respect. We're not saying we're better than you. We just want to be treated equal. We want our credit. We don't want our culture stolen anymore. We need you to stop saying the N-word. And my fellow Africans, stop saying the N-word around them. Stop labeling people that. We should stop using the word, but if we gonna try to keep this under control and check this stuff, stop using it around them. Let's censor our music and demand the respect we deserve. We're tired. And to my non-African Americans, to my people of all races, please stop disrespecting black people. Stop using the N-word. It's disrespectful. It's wrong.